Very good day to everyone attending the Congress. My name is Ambassador Elkanah Odembo. I am Senior Advisor to the African Union, High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa, the Right Honourable Raila Odinga. As some of you might have heard, he took ill last week, was tested positive for COVID-19, and so is in isolation, and his doctors have been especially strict with him about what he can do and what he cannot do during his isolation. He would very much have liked to be with you today. Unfortunately, those are the circumstances. But he did ask me to read on his behalf his remarks at the opening of this important Congress. So I shall proceed to read the remarks of Right Honourable Raila Odinga. Tanya Cox, Chair of the Board, World Green Building Council. Ibrahim Al-Zubi, Chief Sustainability Officer at the Majid Al-Futtaim. Ms. Christina Gamboa, Chief Executive Officer, World Green Building Council. Mohammed Asfour, Head of the Africa and MENA Networks, World Green Building Council. Distinguished speakers and delegates, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by congratulating the Green Building Council for hosting the first Middle East and Africa Congress. This is a remarkable presentation of the collaboration across continents and what is encouraged in Sustainable Development Goal number 17. It is important to strengthen the spirit, to give renewed vigor with regards to mitigating and adapting to climate change. The World Green Building Council, Middle East and Africa Green Building Congress represents a great opportunity to share the latest green building technologies and knowledge in the region. It will highlight means to ensure that buildings provide a high quality of life for people, minimize negative impacts on the environment, and maximize economic benefits. The theme, Paving the Path to Sustainable, Healthy, and Carbon-Free Cities, directly aligns with the aspirations and goals of the African Union's Agenda 2063, which is a shared strategic framework for inclusive growth and sustainable development and a global strategy to optimize the use of Africa's resources for the benefit of all Africans. Middle East and Africa have unfortunately borne the brunt of various devastating wars and geopolitical instability, causing great damage in human and economic cost, institutional collapse, and destroyed infrastructure. Alongside this, inequalities have exacerbated as a result of severe climate stress on resources such as water and environmental degradation. Fortunately, as most of the regional conflicts resolve, it is timely to contribute to post-conflict and post-COVID reconstruction and city regeneration with a holistic focus on the people and the planet. The building and construction sector is responsible for close to 40% of global carbon emissions. And as the building stock is expected to double in size in the next few decades, it is imperative for the construction industry and businesses to expedite efforts and ambitions to fully decarbonize in order to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade. By 2050, Africa is expected to be home to close to 3 billion people with an increased demand for buildings, where 80% of building stock is yet to be built. This identifies and provides a significant opportunity for carbon reductions throughout the life cycle of the built environment. I advocate for governments to support buildings to be net zero carbon by the year 2050, which is the World Green Building Council's movement for commitment in the transition across businesses, organizations, cities, governments, and regions towards the decarbonization of the built environment. This Congress will highlight ongoing action on the ground showing that it can be done. I take this opportunity to congratulate the World Green Building Council MENA Regional Network in collaboration with UN Habitat experts and practitioners on the all-encompassing guideline, which is in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, in which city regeneration contributes to healthy and resource-secure, climate-resilient societies. I urge Middle East and Africa to further collaborate and stimulate the market towards low-carbon alternative material solutions that will transform the economies by including the youthful populations that are to be found in Africa and the Middle East, and that we must be an exporter of finished materials rather than raw materials. Ladies and gentlemen, this Congress embarks on a regional journey of building sustainability with a tripartite focus on city regeneration and reconstruction, net zero transitions, and health and well-being in the built environment. Of particular interest, these areas of discussion align very well with the AU's Agenda 2063 goals, which include a high standard of living, quality of life, and well-being for all citizens, transformed economies, environmentally sustainable and climate resilient economies and communities. The launch of the Health and Wellbeing Framework by the World Green Building Council in Africa and Middle East in 2020 could not be more timely considering the implications of the COVID-19 pandemic. I encourage the World Green Building Council to lead us to the transformation of the built environment that will be healthy for our people, and I look forward to more outcomes in the Built Environment Day to be hosted in the forthcoming COP26 to be held in the UK later this year. Ladies and gentlemen, with the strides achieved by the Green Building Councils so far, I encourage all African states to develop and support Green Building Councils with focus to transform the built environment as we develop infrastructure on a massive scale across the region. Finally, as I presented in the African Union Ministerial Meeting held in January of this year on the validation of Africa's infrastructure priorities for 2021 to 2030, annually, we have an infrastructure financing gap of between 60 and 90 billion US dollars. The long-term solution, in my view, is the creation of an African Continental Infrastructure Fund under the auspices of the African Union to pool resources Such a fund would focus on a combination of domestic sources and private sector investors, and will focus primarily on the preparation and pre-planning work that needs to be done for regional infrastructure projects to bring them to bankability. I urge the countries, financial institutions, and other partners to be a part of the solution in financially investing responsibly towards the growth and the resilience of a sustainable built environment in the Middle East and in Africa. With these few remarks, I wish you all successful deliberations and look forward to getting the outputs and the report from this important Congress. I thank you.